This is a Dark Illumination Report Extra with RJ Womack.
Hey everybody, this is RJ Womack, aka Brother Nero, and this is the Dark Illumination Report podcast, the podcast where we try to put the focus of religious Satanism back on the worship of Satan rather than the individual. We also try to give our fellow Satanists advice to help them improve their life. This show is first and foremost a ministry, and we seek to help our fellow Satanists in any way we can. On today's show, I'm going to be talking a little bit about the groups again, because there's a couple of things I want to go over that I think will be helpful. And for those of you who didn't listen to my podcast, my episode about joining groups, I recommend that you go back and listen to it. But there's a piece of advice I want to give you that I think is critically important, and it's useful for people joining groups. It's useful for people trying to found a group. And that is that you take about a year to a year and a half to get deeply involved with a group, or before you get a member of a group involved in the group. For example, if you're an individual joining a group, then you should take about a year to a year and a half before you get too deeply involved in their practices. And you need to keep your distance from people, because what I've found over the years is that it takes about a year and a half for people's masks to slip. And what I mean by that is, if they're not being genuine in their satanic beliefs, people can keep it up for quite a long time. But if there's something weird about them, say they're a bit off, or say they have ulterior motives, the longest people can usually keep up the charade is about a year to a year and a half. So if you are starting a group, it's a good idea to make the probationary period about a year and a half, because I guarantee you within a year and a half, they'll show their colors true, and they'll show what their true motivations are. And if they're genuine about their Satanism, you'll see it. They'll be consistent in their belief system and in their desire to help people and their desire to be a part of the group. If they're not, it'll show by that time. And secondly, if you're a person who is trying to join a group, it also takes about a year and a half for the leaders of the group to show that their true motivations are Satanism or not. If they're a leader who's out trying to manipulate people for money, power, sex, whatever, give it a year and a half, and eventually within that time they'll slip up. Now, most people will slip up long before then, but what I've found, like I said, is that most people, if they're good at manipulating people, can keep up the charade for quite a while. But within a year to a year and a half, you'll see things happen. You'll see incidents happen that'll show you what their true colors are, what their true motivation is. And that goes for anybody. Anybody, either a person joining the organization or a person establishing an organization and trying to recruit people. And the biggest issue you're going to have is that you're going to be tempted to break this rule. You're going to be tempted, like if you have a cool person join your group, you're going to be tempted to get close to them and treat them as a brother or sister. Or if you think they're attractive, you might want to date them or whatever. That happens a lot in satanic groups. People will start dating and they'll forget this rule. And I highly recommend that no matter how tempted you may be, and no matter how desperate for members you may be, or no matter how desperate you may be to join a group, that you really keep your distance for the length of time I'm recommending. Because if you do, you can be sure that the people you're involved with are good people with good intentions. If you break this rule and you don't follow it to the T and you shorten the duration, there's a good chance that you'll be surprised at something. The person that you're getting involved with will do something that you're not expecting. So keep that in mind. Take my advice however you want to. That's about it for this episode. As always, you're welcome to contact me if you need any help or advice, or if you need some ideas for how to run your group. I can give you advice based on experience. But please, whatever you do, understand this. Be genuine in your beliefs. Be genuine in the things that you do for Satan, because people are tired of fake people. People are tired of people putting on a show. They want people who really believe. They want people who really are dedicated. And if you're fake, they'll smell it from a mile away. And that goes for the people getting involved in groups, and that goes for the people leading groups. If you're going to serve Satan, do it genuinely. If you're going to serve Satan, try to help his people be better. If you're going to serve Satan, look out for his children. Take care of them because they were given to you, and they're your responsibility to help guide them along the way. It's not your responsibility to control them, to enslave them, to manipulate them, but it is your responsibility to guide them and help them. Because if Satan thought you were good enough to send them to you, then you owe it to him to treat them well and to do your duty with honor and integrity and discipline. Anyway, that's it for today, guys. It's a little bit short, I know, but I thought it was important to say, and I hope you got something out of it. And as always, you can contact me, and I'll try to help you in whatever way I can. Until then, may Satan be with you. Take care of yourselves. See you next time.
Thank you for listening to the Dark Illumination Report podcast. For the latest news headlines, show information, and more, go to rjwomack.com. That's rjwomack.com.